Good evening. I'll open the meeting of the Selectmen, Board of Selectmen of January 7th, 2015. My name is Mark Nickerson, the Deputy First Selectman. And if you'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any additional agenda or consent calendar items? I don't think so.
I notice that we don't have delegations on the agenda.
Delegations is
Right.
1F.
Way down to F, okay.
Okay. Next on our agenda is the appointment of the first selectman.
I move to appoint Mark C. Nickerson of 15 Jean Drive, East Lyme, Connecticut, to serve as first selectman through December 7th of 2015.
Second?
Any other comments? Any other nominations, I suppose, I ask? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move nominations be closed.
Second?
Okay, there's a motion to...
Do you plan to comment?
No, I wasn't going
Okay.
to.
I'm very pleased to second the nomination for Mr. Nickerson. I believe he served admirably as deputy, very conscientiously, and I wish him good luck if he is voted in as first selectman.
Thank you, Roseanne. We have a motion that the nominations are closed. Can I have, I'll call that vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll move on to the nomination. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I believe I'm going to be sworn in, right? You're going to do that, meet me right in the front? You have to make this official, folks.
Do you want us to rise?
Is that necessary?
Bow?
you think?
Screen?
People at home can't.
Unless you actually go over to the.
Okay.
Mr. Nickerson, if you raise your right hand, and do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as first selectman for the town of East Lyme to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
You're sworn in. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Amanda. You did great. You got home. Thanks for that.
It's warmer in here.
There we go. Appointment of a member to fill vacated seat on the Board of Selectmen. We have a vacated seat because obviously Mr. Formica has resigned. There is a resignation letter I should read. I was going to read. Is that here?
No, I sent it out.
We should know for the record that he has been.
I'll note for the record that he has submitted his resignation, and he, this morning, for the record, was sworn in as our new state senator. So I congratulate Paul on that. I have something to read on my appointment as first selectman. I humbly and gratefully accept this position. I thank all of you for your support, both tonight and over the past several weeks as we transition from Mr. Formica's administration. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Paul. Paul Formica was a terrific leader in our town. Decades and generations from now, people in East Lyme and the surrounding area will still be talking about the leadership and vision of Paul Formica and what he brought to our town. I'm very thankful to have had the fortune of having a ringside seat during the past 5 years. The transition will be seamless as possible because Paul's willingness and determination to keep the town moving in the right direction. Lastly, I appreciate Paul's friendship. Thank you, Paul, for everything you've done. I didn't seek this job. The job's found me. 15 years ago, I raised my hand as a volunteer to serve the town that my wife and I had adopted as home. My wife, Marlene, and I have given countless hours in service. She on the Board of Education, me on zoning for 10 years, and the Board of Selectmen for the past 5. It's a way to give back to our community. It's something we believed in wholeheartedly. East Lyme's a wonderful place to live and to raise a family. Marlene and I have raised two terrific boys in this town, Ryan, who's now a freshman in college, and Andrew, a junior in high school. We both often say that there's no better place in the whole world to raise a family, and we count our blessings every day for the fine people that make up this town. I'll lead in a spirit of inclusion, transparency, and community. In the coming weeks, I intend to visit every board and commission that serves this town, and there are many. And there are many, many people that make up those boards and commissions. And each one of them is very important to the fabric of this town. We wouldn't be this town without all those people. I'll make myself available to all those wishing to be heard. I'm interested in listening and learning. Once again, thank you for the opportunity. I'll do my very, very best for the citizens of this town, for this town that we all treasure. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Appointment of a member to fill the vacated seat on the Board of Selectmen.
I move to appoint Mark Salerno to serve on the Board of Selectmen through December 7th, 2015, to fill the vacancy.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion, a nomination, and a second. Are there any other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Attorney Dan Cunningham to serve as, to fill the vacancy.
Second.
We have a second nomination for Mr. Cunningham, and it's been seconded. And probably appropriate, they're both are here tonight, so would you gentlemen like to address the commission? Dan, come on, Mr. Cunningham, come on up and say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. As most of you know, I'm Dan Cunningham. I ran for a position on the board in the last election. Was not elected, but I wanted everyone to know that I'm available to serve this town if you should see fit. I have a lot of experience from various endeavors in my life. I was a finance major at University of Connecticut, worked for Pratt & Whitney, United Technologies in the computer area, left that to go to law school, been in my own practice in town for almost 18 years now, and have always supported the town in any way that I could. Served as the coach for the East Lyme mock trial team that some of you would remember
Right, yeah.
that we did, and with Roseanne for many years, and enjoyed that very much. So I'm here. I'm happy to serve if I can be of help to this town. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Salerno.
My name is Mark Salerno. I reside at 424 Boston Post Road. Congratulations, Mr. Nickerson, on your appointment.
Thanks,
and
Mark.
thank you to the board for giving me time to speak to you tonight. I'd like to begin by giving you a brief outline of my background. I was raised in East Lyme, went through the East Lyme school system. I graduated from high school here in 1995. Matter of fact, some of the board members here tonight were influential for me throughout high school. Mrs. Hardy was one of my teachers, and Mr. Wilson was an advisor to one of my senior year independent study projects. I'm married with two children. They're here tonight. Both of them go to Flanders School, which is the same school I went to. My wife also graduated from East Lyme in '94. I have a master's degree in electrical engineering that I got from Penn State. I currently work for a local government contractor in Groton as the senior engineer and program manager working on Navy sonar. When I came back from grad school, I had this crazy idea that I was going to run for political office. Some people thought I was nuts, but I did it anyways. I ran for zoning as an alternate. I was elected that year, 2001, and I've been serving on the zoning commission for the last 13 years. Being elected in 2001, 2005, 2009, just recently in 2013, and I'm currently a member. I also have served as zoning commission chairman for the last 5 years, being elected by the commission all 5 years. I've been an active member on the zoning commission. I've been involved in many subcommittees. I've chaired many subcommittees, started many subcommittees, mostly to do with looking at our regulations to amend the regulations regarding incentive housing, parking, downtown light industrial uses, outdoor dining, and most recently we just completed a year-long review of our zoning regulations, which is going to be up for public hearing in the zoning commission soon. I also worked closely with the planning commission. It was something that wasn't done in this town for many years. We started many joint subcommittees with the planning commission. During that time, we had a subcommittee on the conservation by design subcommittee, which we changed the subdivision regulations, and we also worked on the scenic road regulations, which eventually came before this board. I'm interested in being appointed to the Board of Selectmen to continue to serve the public in a different yet equally important role. I feel my record of accomplishment on the zoning commission and as chairman makes me uniquely qualified for this position. As you know, many members from the zoning commission and chairman have come up through this board. Mr. Nickerson is one, Mr. Famika is another. Over the last 13 years, I've been fortunate to meet with many business owners, whether in meetings or outside of the meetings, to talk to them about their needs. A lot of the public I got to talk to find out what their needs are, to understand how regulations affect them. Because sometimes they affect them positively, sometimes negatively, sometimes it affects them negatively inadvertently. This interaction, I feel, is very valuable. It's led to guide my decision-making process to make impartial decisions based on fact with public input. And I will continue to do this if appointed to the Board of Selectmen. In closing, I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration. I've had a close working relationship with many of you on this board, and I look forward to working with you in the capacity as Board of Selectmen if you were to appoint me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salerno. There are 2 nominations.
Do you want to call for, see if there are any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
Move nominations be closed.
Second.
And all in favor of closing the nominations, say aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed? Okay. I'll call for the nominations, I guess, in order as I heard them. I think I heard. Did I hear Mr. Salerno first?
No, you heard Mr. Cunningham first.
Okay. Then I'll take
And
Mr.
it's
Cunningham.
alphabetical as well, so.
Perfect. That just gets me out of all sorts of messes. So, all in favor of Mr. Cunningham, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We wouldn't oppose that.
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I need some help here, huh?
So the
Okay,
vote
Thank you, guys.
was-
So there were 2.
No, no.
There were 2 for, and all those in favor of Salerno, Mr. Salerno, say aye.
Aye.
And there were 3. So, Mr. Salerno, I welcome you to the Board of Selectmen. Congratulations. Mr. Cunningham, thank you for your commitment to serving the public, and I know you will continue to do that in a capacity
Happy to do it.
soon and for a long time thereafter. So thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate that.
I'm only lost by 1 vote.
Exactly.
That's a good, I like you,
First time
Dan.
that's happened.
Dan,
All right, Dan,
Dan,
keep-
thanks for coming out.
stick with that. We're good with that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Salerno, you, as we know that you're still a member of the zoning commission, you'll have to resign between now and the next Board of Selectmen meeting, and then, of course, take an oath of office. I believe that's done at the clerk's office, or we can do it at the beginning of the next Selectmen meeting, and we can discuss that. So tomorrow night, I believe, is a zoning meeting, and you'll still be authorized to sit at zoning as a full member of zoning, should you not resign between now and 7:30 tomorrow night. So congratulations to you both. Thank you again for your commitment to our town. Moving on, delegations. Are there any delegations?
No.
Public
No,
wish.
appointment
What am I
of
missing?
deputy.
Deputies.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
You're just zipping through the agenda, Mark.
I'd like to nominate Selectman Siri to serve as the deputy.
Second.
We have a nomination. It's been seconded.
Yes.
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of Mr.
I'd like to speak first.
Okay.
I think that Selectman Siri has acted very responsibly in the role of the 3rd Selectman. He's stepped in many times to fill in little vacancies that have occurred. Frequently, when I have been unavailable, he's graciously volunteered to cover ex officio assignments for me. So I'm happy to nominate him to serve as Deputy First Selectman.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Do you want a motion to close nominations?
No, I
if
didn't hear
there are
any
no
others. I
further-
don't
Okay,
think I need
that's
a
fine.
motion to close it, right? So we have Mr. Siri as our nominee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay.
I'll abstain just for general principle.
You can vote for yourself.
No.
You should vote for yourself
All right,
if you want
I
the
will.
job.
I'll vote for myself.
Okay, that's
you.
better.
Give yourself at least a shake. You know.
Okay. Rob, you're my first training officer.
All right, come on, please.
We have we need to fill the position of second deputy first selectman.
I move to appoint Holly Cheeseman of 16 Mitchell Drive, Niantic, to serve as second deputy first selectman, to serve when first selectman and deputy first selectman are not available through December 7th of 2015.
Second.
And there's a second. Any other nominees? Any other nominees? Any other nominations? Okay, then we have one nominee. All in
And
favor?
I just also
And-
just
yeah,
think
okay.
Holly has been very active in town. She's extremely active with the Children's Museum and definitely an asset to our community in every respect.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor of Holly Cheeseman as the second deputy first selectman? That's your title?
That's a mouthful.
Take it
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, I congratulate you both, and thank you
Thank
all
you.
for your service. Can I ask for delegations now?
Now you can.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping me on track tonight, both of you. All
That's what the
5 of you.
deputies are for, Mark.
Well, first meetings
Yeah.
never go smoothly, at least in my history. Any delegations wish to speak? Delegations, okay. Approval of the minutes, a special joint meeting of December 17th, 2014.
Move to approve the minutes of the special joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance of December 17, 2014, as submitted.
Second?
And there's a second. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay.
And then I'll move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of December 7, 2014, as submitted.
December 17th?
Second.
Yeah.
I thought you said
Right.
7th.
No,
Sorry.
17.
And it's been seconded. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. Consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar for the meeting of January 7, 2015, in the amount of $1,335.49.
Second?
49 cents?
49 cents.
49 cents.
You got that?
Yep, Roger.
Okay.
Second.
And it's been seconded. Any comments? Any other comments, Rob?
Now,
Okay.
now you do.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. Ayes have it. Next on our new business agenda this evening is something called the resolution authorize first selectman to sign the check registers.
Registrars, yeah.
Resolved that the Board of Selectmen delegates to the First Selectman, and upon the absence or disability of the First Selectman to the Deputy First Selectman, the Board's obligation to sign the orders of the Board of Selectmen on the town treasury for payment of regularly budgeted expenses of the town, with the exception of those of a capital nature over $50,000 where bids are required, and further that the signed orders covering the period subsequent to the previous regular meeting of the Board be presented at each regular meeting of the Board for review.
Second?
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. Next, we come to one of the better parts of our evening tonight, and that is the proclamation of the Loving Parting Day. I'm still getting used to my book, so let me go try to find that in this book. There we go. Nope. Here we are.
It starts out
Much better.
1631,
Got
Mark.
it.
Way back in the book.
Yeah, that's when Ed O'Connell got on board.
Elizabeth, you have a presentation to make and to tell us what we're looking at tonight and what we're acting on.
Elizabeth Cocteau, your East Lyme Town historian, 154 Penn Avenue. I'm here tonight to present a proclamation for the 350th anniversary, which will take place on February 13th, titled "The Loving Parting of Lyme and Saybrook." And this proclamation is being signed by the first selectman and selectwoman of the 5 towns who originally came from that parting, which would be Saybrook, Lyme, East Lyme, Old Lyme, and Salem. And I just want to give you a brief history about how these towns came about. And it was in 1631 that the Earl of Warwick granted several of his friends deeds to lands at the mouth of the Connecticut River. And in 1635, Lyon Gardner was hired to build a fort there, and the name was called Saybrook after Viscount Sayenseal and Lord Brooke. In 1645, Governor Fenwick then gives Matthew Griswold land on the east side of the Connecticut River, which many of the people had been referring to as East Saybrook. By this time in 1660, more than 30 families had moved to the east side, including Thomas Lee, whose house still stands in this town, and this house being the oldest wood frame house in the state of Connecticut, still in its primitive state. But by 1663, these families who were living here had to travel every Sunday to go to church in Saybrook. Now, on a day like today and a day like yesterday, I don't think any of us can even imagine what that must have been like to travel across the Connecticut River. So they had decided that they really had enough of it and petitioned the Connecticut General Court to establish their own town and their own society on the east side of the river. And in 1665, permission was granted, and a loving parting took place, which was signed on February 13, 1665, by representatives from each side of the river. And it was called this because of the very amicable nature of this affair. And the name Lyme was given to the east side of the river, possibly because many of the settlers had come from Lyme Regis in England. Our area over a little eastern more continued to grow and to expand. And in 1719, the people living here in what we now call East Lyme, it was then called the Nehantic Quarter. They then petitioned the state to set up their own ecclesiastical society, as they had gotten tired of traveling the roughly 9 miles to go from here to church in Lyme. And their petition was granted, and we became the second, or the East Ecclesiastical Society of Lyme. Salem separated off from the town of Lyme in 1819. We, of course, separated in 1839, and Old Lyme in 1859 to become our own independent towns. We're fortunate in this town that we have 6 homes or houses that were actually built during the 1600s, 2 of which are open to the public. There are 34 houses in East Lyme that were built in the 1700s, and 27 more that were built in the early 1800s before we even became a town. That's 67 houses in our town that were built before we even became a town. They're over 175 years old, and I think we can be proud of the fact that we still have that many houses left. The Old Stone Church burial ground up on the corner of Riverview and Society Road was also set out in 1719 when the church was built. And this cemetery contains the graves of many of these early settlers. And to walk through this burial ground, knowing that you're walking on the same ground that almost all of these first settlers would have walked through at one point in time, is a very moving experience. And I want to thank you all for helping in your preservation that you do for the town of East Lyme. And this is the proclamation. There are 5 of these which are being signed by each of the first selectmen in each of the towns, and I'll have Mark sign this one now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
quite interesting, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cook, I really appreciate what you all are doing.
Thank you.
Is it 5 towns?
5, yes.
I think it's just wonderful that you, first of all, you carry the torch for us, and for you to, keep reminding generation after generation of our history and keeping that in the forefront. It's just so impressive, and I said earlier this evening, there's all these different committees and all these people that do just their little bit to make this town special, and yours is a very big piece. We appreciate what you do.
There's a lot of little history in all of the towns,
Yeah.
and East Lyme does have a lot of little things tucked away in the corners that are
Yeah.
really fun to learn about. And thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Very much loved your presentation this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
350 years ago. That's great.
And
But we have
how many houses are in this town that are before this happened? 167?
67.
167 before we became a town.
67 houses that are still standing were built before we even became a town.
Which
Of course,
is,
many have disappeared, but those are the ones that are still standing.
Unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah.
Six from the 1600s.
6 from the 1600s for the people at home.
Thank you
That's-
so
that's
much.
wonderful.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. We have a proclamation to read.
Move the following. Whereas in 1631, the English Earl of Warwick granted an extensive tract of land in the Connecticut River Valley to Lord Say and Saley, Lord Brooke, and several others, and this land extending north on both the east and west sides of the Connecticut River became the Sabre Colony, one of the earliest settlements in New England, and in 1644, the Sabre Colony was incorporated into the Connecticut Colony by order of the Connecticut General Court in Hartford. And in 1663, the Sabre Colony requested the Connecticut General Court to set up a plantation on the east side of the Great River, known as East Saybrook. And on February 13, 1665, representatives of the settlers from both sides of the river signed an agreement known as the Loving Parting, making East Saybrook a self-supporting community separate from the Sabre Colony. And in 1667, the Connecticut General Court assigned the name Lyme to this new community. Therefore, in recognition of the 350th anniversary of the signing of the Loving Party and of the shared history of the Sabre Colony with the present towns of Old Saybrook, Lyme, Old Lyme, East Lyme, and Salem, February 13th, 2015, is hereby proclaimed Loving Parting Day, signed by the East Lyme Board of Selectmen. Sorry. Well, we were being educated, so things came up.
That's great. Is that a motion there?
It's a motion.
therefore?
I move the
Second.
fine.
And it's been seconded. Any other comments this evening? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? It's wonderful. Again, thank you so much. And February 13th, 2015 will be the 350th anniversary of the signing and the loving parting of the East Saybrook Colony becoming its own. That's wonderful. Thank you again. Very, very much appreciated. We have a budget transfer from payroll contingency to...
We went from 1667 to a budget transfer.
Yeah.
Keep it all in perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
If you were here last night, yeah.
Yeah,
A loving
exactly.
parting to